team to beat, confidence, a lot of things that we used to say about what's that team, Alabama. Oh, you went to Alabama. Something happened Saturday that we've never seen before against Vanderbilt. We had to talk about it. I know you had some things to say Saturday, but one thing outside of the game that we saw, Malachi Moore, one of those leaders on that defense, kind of maybe had a little moment here. Kids call it crashing out. Take a look here. A little moment. Diego Pavia taking off for running here. Then Malachi Moore, after the tackle, kind of slams him as he's trying to get up. You don't see that from a leader. And then moments after that, after the refs already put the ball down, gives a little boot. Unnecessary 15-yard penalty. You do not see that anytime when you see the Crimson Tide. And, of course, Malachi Moore speaking on that this week after all the action, saying this, quote, "I want to apologize to my teammates, our coaches, the fans, our alumni," that means you, Dave, "and my family for the way I acted on Saturday. I was completely out of line. I let my emotions get the best of me and put myself before the team." Went on saying, as a two-time captain and a fifth-year player, "I understand the standard that we are expected to live up to at Alabama, and I failed to do so by acting in a selfish and an unacceptable manner there." After that, of course, his head coach, Kalen DeBoer, who's been taking a little heat after that loss, speaking on Moore. Take a listen to this.
What he did, he has gone above and beyond in owning, taking ownership in it. And this is pretty much immediately after the game to this morning. Things that are all prompted by him, but also part of just our conversations. The guy, I think the thing I want to make sure Bama fans know is that this guy has been rock solid and been a critical piece, along with others. There are some others as well, of keeping this thing together since January. Okay, when a lot of guys chose to leave, this guy stood firm. This guy loves Alabama football. He works relentlessly out there every single day on the football field. It's the passion that I hope, questions asked about me and the passion and frustration. That's what you saw from him. And so, yeah, there's some things that, he regrets and wishes probably didn't do. Yeah, but he's owned up to it.
Dame is very interesting because his helmet, this is yours, by the way, means so much. Your thoughts on this is what happens when you leave stuff in the green room. We always bring it back up. Your thoughts on Kalen DeBoer, his comments, and then also Malachi Moore, because I know you had a lot to say after that game.
Mm-hmm. I did, and I want to go back again and emphasize that what Malachi Moore did was inexcusable. There's no reasoning behind it. There is no justification behind it. And yes, I appreciate and respect him taking accountability. That apology means absolutely nothing if you don't carry yourself the rest of the season in a manner that not only shows you as a leader, but somebody that makes up for the mistake that you just made. Because that's something that NFL coaches, GMs, fans, that's stuff that people, if he does not come back and have a more positive impact the rest of the season, people remember that forever. That people aren't going to talk about how he plays. People aren't going to be like, yeah, he was a two-time captain. People are going to say, yeah, he was a two-time captain, but you saw how he acted when they lost against Vandy? Completely inexcusable, and he said it best. He is a two-time captain. He is a fifth-year player. He is a cornerstone piece that said, I want to be the link that connects this new regime to the Bama way, the Bama standard. Well, my friend, you have let us down. You have let yourself down because you were not acting in a way that is the old Bama standard. Now I get to Kalen DeBoer, and I look at that response, and to me, that was a very avoiding response, avoiding the topic at hand. There were too many buzzwords, too many, oh, well, this guy he's great, or he loves Alabama football, or no, I don't want to hear about all that. Nick Saban wouldn't be up there talking about that. Bill Belichick wouldn't be up there talking about. They would talk about the actions and the consequences that are a result of acting that way, because every action has a consequence. What Malachi Moore did deserves significant consequences. So to see Kalen DeBoer come out and kind of avoid and fluff around, the importance and the magnitude of this moment, I think that can highlight why Malachi Moore felt comfortable acting in a way like that. Clearly, he didn't think that there were going to be any consequences and any ramifications. That's why he acted in a way like that. Guys that I played with, we didn't act that way because we knew it was going to be hell in a handbasket to deal with if we showed ourselves in that kind of light. So with DeBoer's response and the way that he handled this, whether it had been right after the game or this other press conference where he's still like, just, oh, well, Malachi Moore is this great guy. Yes, he is a great guy, but he messed up, and we need to hold him accountable. He needs to hold himself accountable, and as the head coach, not just any head coach, but the head coach at the University of Alabama that's dealing with a program that is as prestigious as it is, dealing with players that are as high of caliber, that have the egos that they have. You have got to set the standard. You've got to set a message and a precedent to the rest of your team. Okay, you guys saw one of our top leaders, our two-time captain, our fifth-year guy on defense, our war guy, our flag carrier. You saw him act that way? Or, well, guess what? Nobody can act that way. And you know how to know that? Because he's getting punished, and this is the result of those actions. So to me, if he doesn't do that, and if he doesn't punish Malachi and kind of the way that he's addressing this in the media, I'm afraid that it might set a precedent that it's okay to act like this. And, you know, my fear is that we could see more of this, not from Malachi Moore, because I think he will handle himself better, but from the rest of the team.
We will see. And by the way, you guys play South Carolina Saturday. Money on Bama, or should I go to Gamecocks? Just out of curiosity.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this.
I'm just asking a question.
Do this.
I don't want no problem, Dave. I'm just asking a question.
Listen, hopefully, whether it be DeBoer, whether it be former alumni, coaches, maybe Nick Saban got on the phone, maybe Malachi, maybe people were listening to all the stuff that I've had to say. Something needs to hit these guys in the heart. Something needs to hit these guys in their minds to understand this is not the way that we play football. This is not the way that this program has been built. This is not the morals and the values, the principles that this organization has been built upon. We cannot sit here and look at the fact that we have a new coach or a new regime and think that we can go about things differently. Yes, we have to abide by Kalen DeBoer and his new philosophies, but we still have to have that same foundation, that same backbone. So to answer your question, if that has not happened between this week against Vandy and this week against South Carolina is a tough team, and they're another team that if Bama has these same problems can exploit them and ultimately beat them. Because I hate to say it, believe me, it burdens me to say this. I hate that I'm about to let it come off my tongue. But Alabama is beatable. Alabama is now like everybody else for the same things that I was just saying. They are not actively living up to those values, those morals, those principles, that foundation that was set before them. So that was what made Alabama different than every other team. That's what made Alabama, when you went into Saturdays, Bama fans knew we were going to win, and the teams that we were playing against were, I don't know if we got it this weekend. So if they can get back to that, if they can bring what Kalen DeBoer, his offensive mind, obviously what he's done for Jalen Milroe, improving him as a quarterback, making this offense better, if they can take that and combine that again with that old Bama way, that grit, that nastiness, that stifling defense, being able to run the ball at a highly level while having guys like Jalen Milroe, Ryan Williams, yes, then they become one of those top teams in the country again. But it's all up to them. It's about what they did in the locker room, how they're handling themselves this week at practice, and if they're going to get back to playing Bama football the way it's meant to be played.
I hope so. Damn.
I'm not going to give you a straight up answer. I'm not giving you a straight up answer.
I was going to say, it's like 5 minutes. I still didn't get my answer, but I'm going to leave you alone. I get it. I'm going to leave you alone.
Listen, I'm still going Bama, though.
Okay, all right. That's what I asked like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, listen, I got to give my spiel, though, because it's important, because I'm still hoping these guys are listening.
There you go.
Because, again, it's important. And, again, they can be one of those top teams in the country as long as they play to it.
All right, we'll see it. Damian Harris had a lot on his chest this morning. I appreciate it, as always, tapping on NFL and, of course, his old stomping grounds in the Crimson Tide. Hey, looking at that schedule when it comes to Bama this year, look, they have a shot at redemption, and it starts Saturday there against South Carolina. Dame already said it's a tough place. They're a tough team to play there in October. Then the rest of the way, you get number 8 Tennessee, LSU at 13 later in November. Then, of course, Oklahoma and Auburn to end the regular season and maybe in that CFP.